Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm McKenna.
And these are Danny's sisters. So in today's video, we're talking about what it's like to have a sibling with autism. So my first question to the girls is, what do you love most about your brother?
That he's a really unique person, and also that like he can, and that like no matter what he's doing, he can just be himself.
Even though he has his ups and downs, he's still, like McKenna said, he's himself. And even though he's autistic, he finds a way to always overcome it. And I think I love him more because he shows me that even though he has a disability, he can still be himself. And I look up to that, so yeah.
So what don't you like about Danny's autism?
Well, the thing is, it is a little challenging, but the thing I don't like is that like how many times he like cries.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's for like a no reason, but sometimes it is for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I dislike anything about his autism. When he has his meltdowns, I don't understand sometimes, and I feel like that's not his fault. So I don't really dislike anything about his autism. So yeah.
What scares you the most about his autism?
What I'm scared about the future with him is that he won't live the normal life that me and McKenna live. He won't experience the stuff that I've experienced and what she's going to experience, like driving a first car, or maybe going to prom, or like going to parties, and then, like making the simple mistakes that a teenage or a kid does because of his disability.
Well, I'm afraid that sometimes people won't understand him the way that we do because of his autism. And so that's what I'm scared of for him, that some people will think he's saying something else and nobody's gonna understand him.
Do you feel because Danny's autistic that you miss out on things because of his autism?
Well, mostly I'm around when some of these things happen, but sometimes I don't really feel like I'm being missed out on anything, because sometimes you guys update me on everything, and yeah, I don't really miss out on anything. I don't really feel like I miss out on anything.
I definitely don't miss out on anything, because when it does happen, I understand completely. I might be upset about it for like a little bit, but then I'll understand, like, it's okay, you'll have another chance, it's fine, your brother comes first,
Yeah.
his needs before mine, and I don't, I do anything for him, so I don't care if we have to leave somewhere early.
Does it make you upset that we sometimes have to leave places early, or we can't go to certain things because of Danny's autism, or maybe Daddy and I have to split up, like Daddy will take you to certain functions and I'll stay home with Danny, or I'll take you guys to certain functions and Daddy will stay home with Danny? Does that make you guys upset?
It makes it so I'm sad that sometimes we have to leave places, especially if it's like with friends or family, or like if like sometimes if we go somewhere, Danny might feel like he's missing out on everything, and so yeah, I kind of get sad about that.
I mean, I think any child or teenager would get upset if they had to leave somewhere early, but I feel like in the end you should understand why. And I even got upset sometimes, but then, you have to accept it, and it's okay.
How does it make you feel when you see other people looking at Danny differently, or giving bad looks at us when we're with Danny and Danny has a meltdown or something?
Well, it kind of makes me feel like some people are not like understanding what he's going through, or like kind of like how autistic he is. It's like sometimes he's sad like a lot, like a bunch of times, like when we go to places and people just give us weird looks when he is having a meltdown. So that kind of like feels I don't really know.
Do you feel sad?
I sometimes feel upset that people are just giving us weird looks because they don't understand what he's going through.
Does it embarrass you?
Not really, since we go through a lot of those.
I get very, very upset. Not only because they don't know what he has or what he's going through, it's because they don't know Danny like I know him, and they just don't understand. So it's like the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. It's just like, I feel like they are.
Maggie, do you remember the first time we had something happen to us in public with other people? Do you want to talk about what happened and how it made you feel?
So what basically happened was we all went out to dinner at Red Robin, and then there was this couple in the back of us, and Danny started having a meltdown, and I guess they got frustrated or something because he was too loud, so they moved tables instead of, thinking of the situation why he's having a meltdown. Like, don't be so nasty. Like, don't make it obvious why you moved. Like, we know why you moved, and it's rude.
How did it make you feel, though?
I was so aggravated. I was so mad. It's rude. I don't, you blatantly moved because of my brother, and it's obvious. Next time, don't make it so obvious. But I felt very upset that...
Were you more upset or were you more embarrassed that they
I was
moved?
more upset. I could care less that my brother's throwing a tantrum. It's like how you act in situations. Clearly they're childish and children because they weren't adults about it, and it's not okay.
Do you know the difference between a tantrum and an autism meltdown?
Well, I don't really know the difference. I feel like a tantrum is just like something that you don't get.
Mm-hmm.
Like something you really want but someone won't get it for you. Or like you don't really like the thing and like nobody's understanding. We're autism people, we're autism kids. So basically sometimes since they don't understand things like we do, they usually have a tantrum because of what they're not understanding.
All right. But it's not a tantrum, it's called a meltdown. Do you guys understand what autism actually is?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is autism?
Well, I know some of it, but I know there's different levels and different things about it because each kid's not the same. But for Danny, he can't really speak that well, and it's hard for him to get big words out, or even
He can't communicate.
Yeah.
And
basically he can't communicate the way we do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people can't understand what he's saying, but we do. So if we're around friends or family and they don't understand what Danny is saying, sometimes we're actually around him a lot. So we can translate of what he's saying.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we don't even understand what he's saying. But sometimes mommy or daddy knows what he's saying, so that they can correct us of what he's saying.
And what does Danny do when he can't get across what it is he's trying to say? What will he do to show you?
He might draw it for us or try to write
act it out.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Or use his tablet to show you pictures?
Oh yes, he also has this app that he uses called Tell Me.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he can try by himself to type out words, and then he can just hit the send button and it will translate for him.
Very cool, huh?
Mm-hmm. And that's what he wanted to show me one night. It was very cool. He said on it, he typed in, "Daddy, I want Roblox."
He types that a lot.
Yeah. He really likes using it. Sometimes, if I don't understand it and he has his tablet around him, I might ask him, hey Danny, can you please use your Tell Me app on your tablet because I don't understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And it helps you understand what he's trying to tell you.
Yeah, sometimes I do understand what he's saying, but sometimes I can't make out some of the words, so I might have him like type out the word on the Tell Me app.
Got it. If you could have one wish for Danny, what would that be?
It would be for him to live a normal life, like go to school like us, like just having like a normal life.
I think I would wish for the whole world to understand the way he is, so life would move by much smoother for all of us. Just because he's autistic doesn't mean he doesn't have the emotions or doesn't feel the same things we feel, or when a situation happens that he's not feeling the same emotions that we would feel in the situation. He's a human being, and I think he should be treated the way others are treated.
Does Danny show love?
He does a lot of times. He actually, this one time he actually learned how to pick up our new puppy Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
And so he learned how to pick him up correctly, and he shows love to that because he holds him like a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And also he shows love by giving hugs and also kisses.
And I love you.
Yes, love you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he does show a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he might ask us, which shows that he might ask us something, which shows us that he needs a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he just wants to show us something. That shows us that, like,
He cares.
yeah, that he cares a lot about us. And also about, like, what he is doing.
That he wants you to be a part of his world.
Yeah, he wants us to be, like, really a part of it.
Do you feel that mommy and daddy love all of you guys equally?
Yes. Yes, even though sometimes...
That was a quick yes.
Even though sometimes even though it feels like Danny gets more of the attention, it's because it's because of what he's going through. And also, but mom and dad always love kids equally.
Does it make you sad sometimes that we have to show him more attention?
No, it just shows us that we can be more patient. Sometimes that his stuff is more important. And so I don't really feel upset that you guys sometimes give more love to Danny.
I don't think they give more love to Danny. I think they have to give more attention to him because his needs are much greater than ours because we're self-sufficient and he's not yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Hey, Mommy, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Which tantrum do you remember the most?
Which meltdowns do I remember the most?
Yeah, like which one do you remember that kind of made you feel like that Danny's like embarrassing you a little?
No, none that I've never thought any of them have ever embarrassed me. They've made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
When Danny used to try and hurt himself all the time, it made me sad because I couldn't stop him from doing that. And I didn't want him to get hurt. And I didn't want him to hurt somebody else or hurt you guys. And sometimes we weren't quick enough to block or distract him or move him. And sometimes you guys would get hurt, or mommy and daddy would get hurt, or Danny would get hurt a lot because he would make sure that he did. Because in order for Danny to stop his meltdowns, he had to go through a process from beginning to end, which included him hurting himself. And if he didn't get to hurt himself, he would continue the meltdown until he did that act. And I don't know if you guys remember when he used to bang his head a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then once he would bang his head, he would stop. But if he didn't bang his head, remember, he would run around and try to bang it on something until he did it, and mommy and daddy would try to block him or put him down or put him on the couch or somewhere where he wouldn't get hurt. And
The ones where he would slam his head on the floor.
right.
Yeah.
And if we blocked it, then he would move away from us so that we wouldn't block him and everything. So that used to hurt me a lot because I didn't want him to hurt himself. I didn't want him to hurt his brain. I didn't want him to hurt his head or crack his head, or I didn't want you guys to have to see him go through that too, because that's very difficult to watch.
And we also still have a hole in the wall from Danny banging his head.
Yes.
And we covered it up with a Superman sticker.
Yes.
It's a big dome.
Yes. In his room, the big hole in the wall with the
His
Superman.
dome.
So with everything that goes on with Danny, you guys still love your brother.
Yes. We'll always love him because he's our brother.
What do you think will happen after mommy and daddy pass away to Danny?
I think he might get a little upset.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not laughing, I'm crying. It's hard. Okay.
It's alright, baby. What? What's making you sad?
I don't know.
Is it a thought of mommy and daddy passing away, or that Danny won't have them anymore? That's why he has us. And we're gonna be the best that we can. And I would put my life on hold for him. And I would love doing it. And everything else is nothing unless he's okay. So
It's okay, baby.
he'll be fine. Look at him. Look at him now. He'll get better. He's already gotten better.
It's okay.
Mommy, you're tickling me.
Sorry. It'll be okay. He's gonna have you too. You're gonna look after him and make sure he's okay. That's a long, long, long way down the road.
We don't have to worry about
I know.
it. But when the time comes, me and you will sit down and we'll have a talk about it. I probably will take him in first. That's okay with you. Okay. Just another fun family member added to the group.
It's okay, honey. What made you so sad?
I don't know. Sometimes I just do it on an accident.
It's okay. It's not an accident. You're allowed to get upset. That's a very sad question. It's a very sad thing to think about, too.
It's just that Danny wanted you guys to, like, sometimes, like, help him through.
That's why it's us.
But sometimes we don't know, like, what helps Danny.
And that's okay. We have to learn from that. But we have to make sure that we try. And even if it's hard, we never give up. And we have to watch what mom and daddy does, so in the future if something does happen, we're able to take that, we're able to use it. You understand?
Mommy and daddy have a lot of things in place in case something were to ever happen.
Which nothing matters.
Yeah. We will always have information for Danny's teachers and his therapist and doctors and stuff like that. You'll always be able to know who to go to and who to call. Plus you'll have, family members to help you out too and everything. So we have a lot of things in place. So you guys will not be alone in the fight with it, okay? And there's hopefully, with everything that mommy does and mommy's friends do, that there'll be a lot of better places in the future for jobs and homes and stuff like that for people who have autism and stuff like that, learning disabilities and so forth. That's why we advocate so much. Okay?
Okay.
I love you guys.
Love you too. Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry that made you so sad. I didn't mean to make you sad.
It's okay.
So let's go on to a funnier question. What's the funniest thing Danny does?
Oh,
Am I allowed to say when he no, that's inappropriate. I was about to say when he accidentally curses. I think that's the funniest thing ever, even though he doesn't know what it means. I think that's so funny.
How he like screams at her like a Roblox
Oh,
game.
yeah, he'll get frustrated, but like...
How he like screams at the Roblox game.
What does he say?
He's like,
You
He's like-
nerds.
he's like, you losers.
Or the other night, when he was frustrated and he was joking around and being funny, it was good moments, even though he was frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or when he says, I trash you.
I trash you. I fight you.
I trash you. I fight you.
He's like, I hate you.
Or like random times where he'll like, remember the Forky thing? I trash. Or you say that out of nowhere.
Forky, the Forky obsession.
I
You say it
trash.
out of I trash. What? No.
Oh yeah, the 3 months of what?
No.
What? No.
Or her go, what? What, Mom?
What mom? Yes, the what mom
What? No,
started.
Mom.
What's the last thing you want to say about your brother?
That we love him very much.
He's a funny kid.
He's
And
very
I
unique.
wouldn't trade him for the world.
Yeah. Yeah. If like there's something bad, like really bad going on, we'll like with him, we'll always be there for him.
And like
We
people
love you,
say,
Danny.
and people say like, oh, would you, get rid of his autism? Like, yeah, I would, but autism makes him who he is.
Yeah, it makes him very unique to other people.
He's different from others in a good way.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe with bell notifications and to subscribe with bell notifications to Autism Life, and also like the video. And my mom,
Down below.
yes,
Down below.
yes, and also leave a comment if you want to.
And your thoughts.
And yes, and also my mom will see you guys next time. Bye.